Is this a truth, lie, or shenanigans, Lizzie?
This is all of the above, actually, but I think in the big scheme of things, it's shenanigans. So we are going to talk about the new vocabulary word for the week, entanglements. Entanglements.
Ah,
Let's get into
You
entanglements.
you ready for
So,
the video?
my
Let me
hair
know
has
when you're
been in
ready for
some
the video.
entanglements.
So I'm just going to give a little preamble. This whole situation, this scandal started with a young man by the name of August Alsina. He went on Angela Yee's show a few weeks ago and said that 4 years ago he had an affair and a relationship with Jada Pinkett Smith. And the internet, social media went wild. At the time, Jada and Will didn't say anything. They didn't address it. And so when you don't say anything, the rumors continue to start. People start to, form opinions of their own. And then certain media outlets were reporting that they did say something, that they did say XYZ. And then August Alsina came back again and said Will gave him permission to basically sleep with his wife, have an entanglement with his wife. So last week on Friday, Will and Jada decided to address this themselves on Jada's Facebook show, Red Table Talk. So they brought it to the red table. So we're going to take a look at a small portion from that video, and then we're going to talk about it.
All right.
I think you need to say clearly what happened. You and I decided we were going to take our space, and what happened.
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with
Entanglement.
August. That's what I said.
In the
An
sheet.
entanglement,
Yes. Yes.
a relationship.
Yes. It was a
Yeah.
relationship. Absolutely. I was in a lot of pain and I was very broken. Now, in the process of that relationship, I definitely realized that you can't find happiness outside of yourself.
Because for me, that was the thing when Og first came around, he was really sick.
He was really,
know.
really sick, yeah.
And the outpouring for him from our family was initially about his health.
Yeah. And from there, you and I were going through a very difficult time.
Yeah.
And we decided.
I was done with your ass.
Yeah, you kicked me to the curb.
I was done with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
know.
No, we were over.
And then what did you do, Jada?
Well, I think from there, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement with August.
Because I wasn't sure I was ever going to speak to you again.
I know.
Yeah, like the fact that I'm speaking to you again is a miracle.
I would agree.
I sure wish it could be all magic and miracles.
Yeah. You got to go through some to get the answers.
I don't want to go through this no more.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
Yeah. I'm going to get you back first, and then...
You're going to get me back. I think you got me back. I think we're good on that, okay?
I'm gonna say.
Okay, that's
Wow.
true.
And I don't think it's about getting anybody back.
No, for me it is.
Okay. I'll give you that, Teddy. If that's what you want.
I told you the first year we were married, I can love you through anything.
And I didn't believe you.
25 years and counting.
We ride together.
We die
together. Bad marriage for life.
So stupid.
Wow.
So I'm going to
That's
throw
funny.
this topic to the panel first because I think amongst the three of you and with our other hosts for the show, I am the only single person, non-married person, never married person on this show. So I want to get some of your impressions about, one, the semantics, entanglement versus relationship versus affair. But also, two, like, what do you think about this whole scandal with Will and Jada that we now are privy to?
Why don't we start with Z?
Can I-
Oh, go start with Rob. Rob raised his hand.
Will and Jada have had a famously open relationship. They've never shied away from it. So the fact that this is happening so this was something more emotional. And I think that might cross the boundaries, but whatever they have going on in their relationship, is with them. And I can't imagine what it would be like to be a power couple, because it's being thrown at each of them day in, day out, multiple times a day. It's I can't imagine what 25 years of that life would be. And kudos on them for working it out together, finding something that works for them.
Mm-hmm.
And even through that conversation, you can see that there's some resentment and some anger, but there's a deep love also. So to me, this is just one of those things that it doesn't need to be out in the social media platform, doesn't need to be out there for the collective. It is between Jada and Will.
And let me just say, and it would not have been if Mr. August Alsina had not kissed and told. Like, nobody was talking about this young man and Jada. He went to, the media and the press and revealed this. So,
and there was one part of the clip that was missing. So, I mean, they were talking about he was ill, but I think it had more, they mentioned something else in the full show where it was more along the lines of some type of mental illness. Or I got that impression it was some type of mental.
I think honestly, Neil, I think it was both.
Was it?
I think there was some type of medical, like physical illness in addition to whatever, because a lot of people online have alluded to his mental illness. But I think in that moment, there was also some physical, something physical going on with him as well.
So from their conversation, I had gotten the mental part, but I didn't get the other physical part. Z?
So is it sad that I don't know who this August person is?
Nobody did.
Is this a TikTok thing? Is it a
Nobody
Snapchat
knew who this
thing?
dude
I don't-
was.
Okay.
None.
So there's your answer. So there's your answer one as to why this even came out. He's obviously looking for his little 15 seconds of fame. That's number one. The other thing that kind of stood out to me immediately was the use of the word entanglement. It brought me back to a psychology class I took years ago, where we discussed death and how people, especially in our society, can't just say, oh, such and such died. They have to say, oh, they passed away, or, they're sleeping forever, or they went home. Like, they died. That's what it is. You had an affair. That's what you did. Like, I think if you're going to come out and do a red table talk where you're going to put it all out there and lay it on the line.
Put it out there. That's right.
Put it out there. Stop. An entanglement in the sheets? Yeah. All right.
And so that's why Will said, so what happened, Jada? Like, he was trying to get her, and then when he was saying it, he said, you had a relationship. Like, he corrected her.
Like, stop. Exactly. Like, don't come with this, like, all right, I had to put myself at the red table and man, you entanglement.
There was a couple of things.
Had an affair. Like, stop it.
There was a couple things that stood out to me.
I just want to say real quick. And God bless them. They made it 25 years. It's sad that they even felt the need to respond to this and answer to it, because it's your marriage. It should be private. It's their business. I don't really care. I don't want to hear about this. Let's talk about masks and coronavirus some more, because we haven't talked about that in 5 minutes.
We will. We're getting there. But there was a couple of things that stood out to me, and it had more to do with Will. And some of his comments, particularly like when he was saying, I'm going to get you back. I mean, I don't know. That hit me a little off. I didn't like that.
Did you respond?
Like a side shaking.
Did you hear what she said?
That she got him back.
She said, I think you already got me back.
Right.
Which
and I think she said more than enough.
Yes, I think it speaks to whatever private stuff they have going on in their marriage that is nobody's business, really.
Right.
Well, but they're putting it out there to make it our business.
But I think they had to, because, Mr. August put it out there for them. Like, at the whole point, people were like, I wouldn't have addressed it. I wouldn't have said anything. The last thing you want, especially if you're a public figure, is to have other people telling your story for you.
But do they really have to do it on Table Talk?
I mean,
and I mean, they put it all out there. I mean, there are ways to put your information out there.
They didn't put it all out there.
Right. But I'm saying.
But that's exactly right.
But what they did put out there, I have an opinion on.
Oh, of course you have an opinion on. But where else would they have put it out there? Like, if they go someplace that's not Table Talk, then they're not in control of the narrative.
So I have an opinion on him saying, you know, that she's going to get him back, and I want to know more about what all that means. So
I think
You know
we
what
know
happened?
what it means. I think we
Have we?
know what
But
it means.
have they answered everything that's come up about their marriage in the past, though? They could have just ignored it the way they've ignored so many other
No, but because I
allegations.
think I don't think anyone in the past specifically said, I slept with Will. I
Yeah.
slept with
Yeah.
Jay. There were all of these rumors and innuendos, but I don't think that there was anything that was
Yeah.
as specific as this young man, especially when he came out and said Will gave him permission.
and have they ever
And it was
admitted?
like,
Yeah.
Have they ever admitted to an open relationship? They've actually said that they have an.
no,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
no, they've never said those words. And people have been talking about them having an
Yeah,
open
of
relationship
course.
for years.
Been rumors, yeah.
Haven't said those words. And we're going to have to go past the go past Gingy, because I want to get this point in about Jada, because people have been coming down a lot on Jada and her actions here. Let me just get Gingy out the way.
All right, so we can go over a little bit. We can go over a little bit. And there's a lot of comments online about this, of course. So let's get to those.
As it relates to Jada, I mean, and especially the men out here, in the public sphere who are observing this story, commenting on this story, all of them are really going in on Jada, which I think is highly hypocritical, given that how often do we hear about men cheating on their wives, about embarrassing their wives, their families
Yeah.
in the public sphere? And very rarely do you have this much backlash for the men involved. And so I'm just like, brothers, y'all need to take it down a couple of notches. I mean, you have people like 50 Cent, like Snoop
Oh, that
Dogg,
was
who has
ridiculous.
a whole other child. His wife has been on Twitter alluding to all of the infidelity in their like, shut it up, shut it down, shut it down. I
Yeah.
think we
Yeah.
all know someone who's in a relationship where there's been some infidelity. I have friends who have cheated. I have friends who have been cheated on. I have family members who are going through this, other kids involved. This is not anything out of the ordinary, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so for us to give all this smoke to Jada is ridiculous. And one final point, please, I think I need to make this, in that Jada and Will both come from broken homes. And I think you heard Jada talk often in that segment, talk about how she hadn't yet fixed herself.
Yep.
Jada comes from a home environment where both of her parents were drug addicts. Her father used to beat the crap out of her mother. And this is stuff they discussed on Red Table Talk. Her father used to beat the crap out of her mother. She and her father were estranged for several years. And then she finds out that he had a kid with somebody else. So now she has a brother that she didn't know about. On top of that, she grew up, in a tough area in Baltimore. She was kind of like hood as a teen. Like she wasn't as refined as she is now. And then before Will, she dated Grant Hill. Okay, y'all know who Grant Hill is? Former NBA player Grant Hill. Grant Hill comes from a very prominent upper class Black family. His dad was an NFL player. His mom is an attorney. His mom is very strict. Why did they break up? Because his mom said to Grant, she's not good enough. She's not marrying my son. She's not coming into my family. And I'm sure that messed with Jada's confidence, because she talks about how she was always insecure. Like, a lot of stuff goes into this. And I'm not giving anybody an excuse for cheating. I have friends who have cheating
That was going to be
spouses.
my comment.
I have friends who have cheating spouses. I have, again, family members who have cheating spouses. And I'm always very hard on them. But that's because they haven't tried to fix themselves. They still cheating. They're still telling the lies, or they're still involved in entanglements. And I think the acknowledgement by Jada that she never fixed herself.
So if I could jump in.
Yeah.
I think all of us, everybody has issues, has something they're dealing with, some childhood issues, some problems that they dealt with. I don't think any of us can say that we all had perfect childhoods and we all have issues. So my comment was going to be about making excuses for their behavior, because we've all dealt with stuff, but we all don't go out and cheat on people and have extramarital affairs and things like that. So, I don't want her potential psychological or issues to be
And
like,
that's not what I'm saying. but
a good
I think
reason.
we put out there that, at least more so than me and the people that I know who are cheating on their spouses, they had a different upbringing when it came to what the family structure is. And if you don't know what that structure is supposed to be like to work, it's going to take you some time to figure out. And I think she acknowledged, I never took the time to figure it out. I never took the time to
Yeah.
work on.
And it's good that she's doing that, and it's good that she has Will to kind of help her along with that. And he didn't leave as he wanted to leave. He stuck it out. Let me get to some of these comments online. We got Karen Yvette Andrews. Jada, really? Entanglement? Question mark. Let's see. Ropka says.
I hate it because it's like when Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin were getting divorced and she kept saying unconscious uncoupling. No, you guys broke up. You're getting a divorce. Just call it for what it is. Let's just call it for what it is.
We have, let me see. We have Jeanette Brown. I must confess, I wanted to get somebody back and enjoying a Netflix series. I just stumbled on Resenting My Life Again, Dr. Foster. Jeanette Brown also says mental illness is an illness. Karen says they've talked about their open relationship. I believe August publicly saying Will was okay with the affair with Jada.
I keep asking people to point to me where they specifically talked about their open relationship.
I haven't seen that. I looked for it at one time. I actually
can't
looked.
find it.
I looked for it a while ago. I mean, it wasn't related to this. Let's see. Vaughn Perry, the relationship also happened 4 years ago, and they both said they weren't in a good place. Kudos to them for working through whatever issues they have. I like that comment because, I mean, I personally have a, unbreakable, right? And one of them is cheating. I'm like, cheat, I'm out. That's just what it is. But, it is good that they were able to work it out. And every marriage, every relationship has issues that you have to kind of figure out. And I agree. I agree with Vaughn Perry. It's kudos to him and her for working through their issues because I'm sure she mentioned it. She's dealt with some crazy stuff. I mean, I'm sure. I'm positive this isn't like a first affair that they've had, even if they did or didn't have an open relationship. But any other last comments real quick?
Just, I hate that, we are in the era where people just kiss and tell just because they want likes. They want to get their 15 minutes of fame. Again, we all know people that are going through these things. And I just think that it should be something that is personal. Like if I am sleeping with you, even if it's, an affair or something, unless I give you permission to make it public, then you shouldn't be talking about it. I think, I'm allowed to have some privacy with what I do with my body. Period.
We need sex NDAs. We need sex NDAs. Be like, excuse me, will you sign this?
I like that.
That's not giving anybody permission to cheat. Like, I'm not a fan of cheaters at all. At all.